When I was 20 years old, I got married. When I was 25 years old, I left my ex-husband. When I was 30 years old, my divorce was finally finalized. And at 32 years old, I got married to my current husband. I have 2 kids and I'm pregnant with my 3rd. And because I was married to a narcissist who financially abused me, I was in a lot of financial struggles during my 20s. I will be 33 in August, and my goal is to have my credit fixed enough to be able to be on the mortgage with my husband. Unfortunately, that means that I have a lot of work to do. I currently have 2 court cases that say that I have to financially pay off certain credit cards that went to collections. I have other things, other credit cards, other predatory loans that I had to use to survive in my 20s that are also in collections. Unfortunately, my credit has a lot of repairing to do, and I am hoping that I can get it done in the next 4 to 5 months before we start trying to apply for our VA loan again. It's probably been about a year since I last got my credit report, so I'm going to be doing that again so that I can get the exact numbers, but I would probably estimate it to be in the ballpark of $8,000 to $10,000. I do know that based off of the length of time that it has been, a lot of these things probably can be disputed. So I'm going to be looking into that and trying to do as much as I can to get my credit report cleaned up before we apply for this loan. I know my story is not one of a kind. There are so many people that experience very similar situations to me in their 20s just trying to survive. Unfortunately for me, my parents passed away while I was in high school, so I was kind of left alone to navigate this financial journey, and I had to make these choices in order to get to work, to get money, to pay my bills, to pay my rent, to pay my utilities, and I had to do what I had to do. All the credit cards that I did get in my 20s were secured credit cards because I didn't have a great credit score to begin with due to student loans. Now that they are in collections, I won't get that deposit back for any of those cards. Now, I don't know if you know a lot about predatory loans, but they are the type of loans that you can get that probably aren't even really legal, where the APR and interest rates are upwards of 200 to 400%. They're kind of like payday loans where you get the loan, it's maybe like $1,000, and then it automatically deducts from your bank account every 2 weeks. I try to share on my page a lot about budgeting and being a little bit frugal while also still enjoying life. I have 2 young kids. I'm about to have a 3rd. I'm not the type of person who is going to say, we can't ever leave the house, we can't ever spend money, we can't ever buy things. So I try to navigate that struggle as best as I can while still paying all of our bills. But unfortunately, paying debts has been something I haven't even considered because I have lived this way for so long. It's just been a stressor that I've carried for over a decade. But I want to help my husband. My husband is the only person who has any of the loans in our house. He has both of our car loans. He previously had our mortgage all by himself, and I don't want to ruin his life the way mine has been ruined by the choices I was forced to make. And I try to make sure that my page is a place of transparency, so I want to share this journey with you guys. I want to make sure that you know that if you are on this journey or you are struggling with similar situations, you are not alone. And as I am learning and navigating this process, I want to share it because I want to help other people know what their options are. So step 1 is going to be getting my credit report and seeing exactly what's on there, how long those things have been on there, and seeing what kind of things I can dispute or possibly get taken off because of the length of time that they've been on there. I'm pretty sure that there is a 7-year period that they are allowed to try to collect a debt, and after that it has to fall off of the credit report. I don't know if it falling off of the credit report actually helps your score or not, so that is something that I'm going to be looking into. The next step after that is trying to prioritize what is going to be the target first, what's going to help my score, I guess, the most, because right now my biggest problem is the fact that my score is probably in like the 400s, if I'm being honest. And obviously I'm going to do whatever I can to make a little bit of extra income. My personal income from my full-time job pays our health insurance for me and the kids. It basically just buys our groceries for the month and helps my husband with his cost of gas. And that's all I earn. I don't earn enough to actually like contribute to utilities or the rent or any of our other monthly bills. And because of that, I don't really have extra money to put towards paying off these debts, which is why it hasn't been a priority for me. So we're doing whatever we can to make a little bit of extra money. I'm hoping that we can make a little bit of money to pay off these debts, as well as start to put together a fund towards paying for closing costs and getting our house set up when we do purchase. Buying a new house is never free, and even though we do get a loan through the VA and we won't be required to pay a down payment, we want to do whatever we can to put towards that to help us in the long run. And we're also going to want to make sure we have an emergency fund just in case we move in and something catastrophic happens. I'll try to do like daily or every other day updates just to share this journey with you guys. So if you want to follow along, hit the follow button. You can also find me on my other platforms, which are linked in my bio, but I'll also put them on the screen here. And I'll probably be doing a lot more in-depth information on my YouTube channel, on the longer form videos, and try to keep these other platforms just to like highlight updates. I'm nervous to be sharing this journey, but also excited to be able to help other people know that they have options, help other people navigate this, and honestly just make it a little bit more understandable that these kinds of situations happen. I feel like there's such a stigma around being in debt or struggling financially, when in reality, a lot of us just had a really hard life when we were teenagers or in our 20s and did what we needed to do to survive. And everybody has a backstory and everybody has a reason why. So let's just be transparent about it. Let's just be honest and open about our struggles. Let's just do whatever we can to provide a better life for us, for our families, and for our future generations.